Hi, it's Alison from the Law School Toolbox. Now I want to talk about the checklist that you're going to use to review your own exam answers if you have these answers. And we suggest you do this before you talk to your professors so that you go in really knowing the things that you may need to talk with them about. So I'm not going to run through all of these. You can download this, but really they track the videos of the common 1L mistakes that you can go and watch. So I'd suggest you watch those if you haven't done so yet. First, you're going to look at any of the issues that you did discuss, and hopefully you have a model answer so you can see whether you actually spotted the issues. You can see if you talked about things that might not have been relevant. You want to pay close attention to this because that's kind of the first step in getting to a great grade is you really have to spot the issues. You also want to look at, did your answer track the call of the question? So if there are 3 defendants, you probably want to have divided up your answer and talked about each one of those people individually. So just look carefully at the call of the question and see if you kind of followed that and did what your professor was looking for. All right, next I want you to look at your rule statements. Are they accurate? Are they complete? Are they helpful? Did you explain a rule if it was a little more involved? Just take a look at these and see if you broke them down particularly into elements. If the rule is not correct, you want to see if you had it correct in your outline. So you really need to identify where the problem is happening. Was it wrong in your study materials, or was it something that you put down incorrectly because you forgot it or just misquoted it or something like that? All right, next, we want to really look at the analysis. Can you find places where you think your analysis is too conclusory? Are there places where maybe you did not address counterarguments? Take a look at these. Did you use IRAC? Did you use something similar? You really want to examine your analysis also relative, just lengthwise, really, to your rule and issue statements. So we often suggest people take highlighters of different colors and actually highlight the rule, the issue, and the analysis. So you want to make sure that analysis section is typically longer than the other ones because that's where you should be focusing your time. So go ahead and do that and take a look and see maybe places you might have needed more analysis. All right, the next thing I want you to look at is your structure and your organization. Is your answer logical? Is it easy to follow? If you were grading this, would it be easy to give you points? Did you use headers? Is your grammar and spelling so distracting that they're probably going to be taking off points for that? An occasional typo is no big deal, but is it so distracting that it does not look professional? That's going to be a problem. Did you break your argument into bite-sized chunks? Did you go through it step by step? Or do you have these long paragraphs, run-on sentences? Kind of a brain dump type situation, that is typically not going to score as well. So take a close look at that. Finally, I want you to look for signs that you might have had time management issues. So do you remember running out of time? That's something you want to note. But you can also look at, does the quality of your answer drop off markedly as you get to the end of it? So are you clearly rushing? Maybe you bullet pointed things, or do you just not finish? That's something to take a close look at. All right, so after you have reviewed your work and answered all of these questions above, you want to think about whether there are any other things you want to note going forward that maybe happened on this exam. Was this something weird? Were you not feeling well? Did you have test anxiety issues? Did anything happen in the exam room that caused you to lose focus? Crazy things happen all the time. People have computer problems. Maybe you thought someone was cheating. They're all different kind of things that could have happened. So take a look and just see, for later reference, what might have been a problem, just so you remember it when you're looking back later. And then finally, if you have your outlines and study materials, it's useful to take a look at those. So did they help you answer this exam? Were they useful? And how maybe you could make more useful items going forward. So this list might seem long and tedious, I get that. But if you carefully review your work and really look for these problem points, you're going to be much better positioned to solve your problems for the second semester. And that conversation with your professor is going to be more productive. So take a deep breath, get those exams, and start going through this checklist. And if you need more help, check out lawschooltoolbox.com.